What's good, y'all? Shagar Makai. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. If subscriber helps. Over here on this channel, we talk about the NBA daily. So if you enjoy the NBA as much as I do, please subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And, more specifically, the matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. And right off the bat, Chris Middleton, he has, I think, an MCL injury, so he's gonna miss this entire series. So that already gives the Boston Celtics an advantage. Just less pressure on their defense and just another guy, not another, but less pressure on their defense and a guy they don't have to worry about guarding Tatum, guarding Brown. So it just overall makes it easier for the Boston Celtics. But I don't think that that's enough to be like, oh, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to get ran through. The Bucks are going to get, destroyed. They still have Giannis. They still have Drew. Grayson Allen, whenever Chris Middleton doesn't play, Grayson Allen usually, steps up. And we've seen in, this past series against my Chicago Bulls, sadly. We've seen in this past series, Grayson Allen scoring like 20, 25. Really, really good at the spot up. Really good, doing stuff off the catch. Really good, just scoring the ball, solid, on the defensive end. Bobby Portis is the guy who always steps up. So I don't think that Chris Middleton, obviously you're gonna miss his shooting, you're gonna miss his off the dribble creation, you're gonna miss his passing, especially. He's probably the best passer on the Milwaukee Bucks right now. But you're gonna miss all that. But I don't think this puts Milwaukee in the coffin. You still got Giannis, who's having, an MVP type season. You know what Giannis does. You still have Drew, who I think is having a, much more improved creation season compared to last year in Milwaukee. You have Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez came back, Wesley Matthews, Javon Carter's been giving you some, cool minutes, and Grayson Allen, who's been giving you some great minutes as well. And I just think that, when it comes to this series, if you had to ask me right now, I'd probably say Boston in 7 because I like that. I like, the matchups on Boston's end much more than I like the matchups on Milwaukee's end. Like, for example, I think that, guarding Giannis should be fairly straightforward for the Boston Celtics. Even Udoka, obviously can come up with great defensive game plans. But really the game plan for Giannis has been, in motion since 2019. You really just, put a wall of defenders and just really try to stop him from getting downhill, really try to stop him from, getting to the paint. And I think if there's a team that's equipped to do this, besides the Miami Heat, there's no better team. Actually, no. The Boston Celtics are the best equipped team in the NBA to stop Giannis because they have smart help defenders, they have a lot of size, they have a lot of strength, they have big bodies, they have rim protection, they have everything you need in a, conceivable defense, a theoretical defense for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, the difference is, obviously Giannis, his game has matured. He's matured. He's much more patient. He's not just going to probe into, double coverage, triple coverage. He is going to make a lot, better reads than he used to in the past. And he's gotten better at the mid-range shot. His mid-range shot is going up every single month. Every single month, you see, Giannis being more, what's the word for it? You see Giannis being more pure from mid-range. But obviously, mid-ranges for Giannis is something that the defense wants. And you would rather Giannis be taking, shots that he's not super accustomed with rather than him just getting downhill to the rim. Now, I'm not saying he's going to get to the rim 0 because he is still, really, really crazy force. And obviously, I think you have to have Al Horford on him just so Robert Williams can be, the backline help. And you're going to have Tatum digging down, stunting at the ball. Marcus Smart doing the same thing. I imagine Grant Williams is going to spend some time on Giannis primarily because Grant Williams, big body, really strong type dude. So I just think that the Boston Celtics defensive scheme is really going to, work against the Milwaukee Bucks because they're not going to have to switch as many actions that they did against, they're not going to have to switch as many actions as they did against Brooklyn. I think that you can get away with drop, kind of like a, kind of high drop type method because obviously you don't want to give Giannis a runway, but you can't really switch things against Giannis because it's going to mess up the whole defensive infrastructure. So I just think that from a defensive standpoint I would lean Milwaukee, but it's really going to come down to the Milwaukee Bucks and all the guys hitting their shots. And I know that sounds pretty simple, but usually that's kind of how these series kind of go with stars like this. Giannis is I think he's averaging like 5 assists, like 5.7 assists, close to 6. He's been making a lot of really good reads this year. He's a better passer than Kevin Durant is, so you're not going to be able to get away with the same defense that you put on Kevin Durant. You're not going to be able to get away with that on Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I just think that it's going to be up to Grayson Allen to be hitting the shots, Bobby Portis to be hitting the shot, Wesley Matthews, and I think Drew Holiday is going to have a really outstanding series scoring-wise because yeah, you're not going to be able to stop them as easily as you stop Chicago. But even if you were able to stop them, I do think that, with all the attention that's going to be on Giannis, with how much he's going to, probably have the ball forced out of his hands, I think they're going to need that on-ball presence from Drew. And they're going to need the playmaking, too. He's going to have to get everybody involved. But they're really going to need Bobby Portis to step up. They're going to need Brook Lopez to step up, Grayson Allen. Like, they're going to need, they're going to have to rely on the depth of the series, I believe, because the Boston Celtics, they showed us this first-round series already. They showed us they're really good at limiting stars. They've shown us for months that they're, an elite defensive team who can do a lot of different schemes, who's really adaptable in that sense. So I just lean them, I really lean them towards this series a lot because of the defense and also the offensive end. I think that some of the matchups are kind of favorable for Milwaukee. Like, don't get me wrong, Grayson Allen's a good defender, but I like if I'm Boston, I like Grayson Allen on, Jaylen Brown. I think that, because of the injury to Middleton, they're probably going to have to throw Drew Holiday on Tatum. I kind of like that matchup because, Drew Holiday is an elite defender, but he is smaller, so I think that it's gonna kind of make it more easier for Jason Tatum to see the rim, for Jason Tatum to make better reads. And Jason Tatum has been having a couple great games passing the ball in these playoffs, and even over the season he's been passing the ball pretty well. But I think that having a smaller player on him is going to provide less pressure when it comes to passing the ball. But Drew Holiday is a really good guy at bothering dribbles. I like that matchup for Milwaukee as well because he's really good at bothering guys' dribbles, especially guys with not top tier handles. Like even Tatum, he's a good handler, but he's not like a top tier handler to where it can't be bothered. And y'all know Drew Holiday, he likes to get under guys, really bother the dribble, far off from the rim, and just he's really been navigating screens well. So I think he's gonna be really annoying for Tatum to deal with. But on the other end, I just think that Jaylen Brown is gonna have to step up this series. I think that they're gonna need him to be better creation-wise because in the Celtics series he kind of had some shaky games. But I think that in this, Milwaukee Bucks series, it's going to be right there for the taking for him because of, how hurt they are. So we saw against Chicago, they started Bobby Portis. But personally, I would probably start, Grayson Allen. One, because I like his shooting better. And two, I like the matchup with, Boston's guards more than I like Bobby Portis, in that defensive matchup. But obviously, you're going to have Giannis, playing that rover role. You're going to have Brook Lopez, kind of a high drop scheme. And Boston doesn't have anybody who's heavily pressuring the rim. Obviously Tatum is probably the best rim pressure guy, but I think that you can get away with a drop scheme and just kind of a hedge and recover type scheme because nobody is kind of burst into the rim like that. Jaylen Brown isn't doing that. Marcus Smart isn't doing that. Grant Williams, Tatum is the only guy I would say is a big threat at the rim, and even then, it's not that crazy of a threat. So, speaking about, rim pressure and all that, I do think that Giannis's rim pressure is going to be, really, really huge in this series because that's going to allow guys to get, easy looks. But if I had to choose somebody right now, because honestly, I see this going 7. I can see either side winning. But if I had to choose somebody right now, I would probably take the Boston Celtics because I like their defense and I like their odds of, stopping the Milwaukee Bucks offense. Not stopping as a whole, but I like them to contain Milwaukee Bucks offense more than I like Milwaukee to contain their offense. And, furthermore, I think all the creation that, Boston has, I like Boston's offense more than I like Milwaukee's offense because you have Jaylen Brown, you have Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart has been having, a good offensive playoffs. He's been passing the ball really well. Al Horford's been playing well. Grant Williams has been knocked down from there. I just like, what they have going a lot more. And they got, Rob Williams as a lob threat. I just like what Boston has offensively more than I like what, Milwaukee has offensively. And I can really see this, like I said, I can see this going both ways, but if I had to choose, I would say the Boston Celtics in 7. So if you stayed in this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.